and we're talking about consecutive integers in this particular problem. It says the sum of 3 consecutive even integers is negative 108. And remember, when we're talking about consecutive even integers, we're talking about, for instance, 2, 4, 6, 8. These are all consecutive even integers. 2, 4, 6, and 8 are all consecutive, and they're all even. So if we're going to talk about the sum of 3 consecutives, our first integer we're going to call x, and we're just going to say that's our first even integer. The next even integer, if we were looking for it, would be x. How do I get from 2 to 4? I have to add 2 more to it, so that becomes my second even integer. And then if I want to go from 4 to 6, I'm going to need to add another 2, which ends up being x plus 4, and that is my third even integer. So I'm going to go ahead and use these expressions, x and x plus 2 and x plus 4, and write an equation for my particular problem. So it says the sum of 3 consecutive even integers. So sum means I'm going to be adding. So I'm going to take my first integer, which is x. I'm going to add my second integer, which is x plus 2. And I'm going to take my third integer, which is x plus 4. And that has to be equal to negative 108. I'm then going to add like terms. So I'm going to have 3x plus 6 equals negative 108. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. And remember, when I'm subtracting 6 on the right side here, on the left side those cancel out, and I'm left over with 3x. But on the right side, I have negative 108, and I'm going more negative. So I'm going to negative 114. Divide both sides by 3. And I end up with x equals negative 38. So my first even integer over here is going to be negative 38. And my second even integer is going to be negative 38 plus 2. And remember, I'm negative, and now I'm going more positive, so this becomes negative 36. And then my last third integer is going to be negative 38 plus 4, which is negative 34. So this ends up being my answers here. And then I'm going to want to check to make sure that this adds up to what I think it should add up to. So I'm going to take negative 38, negative 36, negative 34. I think you can agree that these are all consecutive. I'm going to add them all up. And do they add up to negative 108? Yes, they do. It checks. You are done.